Hi, my name is Ahis Anthony. Welcome to this week's episode, the EPL FootyWit podcast, EPL review show, game week 3. There was a lot of drama that went down this week. I'm not here alone. I have my fellow podcasters with me. So here with me are
Samiat.
And Chimamaka Joko.
Yes. We're here again to discuss the EPL review. It's crazy. Like I said from the beginning, we're going to have a lot of talking points in today's show. We hope we tend to maximize the amount of time that we have. But quick one straight to the show. Like I said, a lot of the results that went down. Manchester United, the drama at the Amex Stadium, Brighton, right? Manchester United winning, late winner against Brighton, and Chelsea drawing West Brom Albion, drawing West Brom. And we saw how Man City got pummeled today by Leicester City. But we're going to run you through all that as the episode progresses. But quickly, we're going to look at what's happened this week. Marcus Rashford scores Manchester United 10,000th goal against Brighton Hove Albion. Chelsea are the first EPL team since WestHam in February 2011 to avoid defeat after trailing 3 goals at halftime. What a game. VAR again. VAR has come into the play. Controversy this week again. VAR awarding a penalty after the final whistle was blown against Brighton Hove Albion, giving Manchester United the opportunity to nick 3 points in that game. And also, Patrick Bamfrord of Leeds City is the first player in Leeds United history to score his first 3 top flight appearances for the club. And also, guess what? 25 matches gone in game week 3. As of from game week 1 to game week 3, 25 matches gone. And guess what? 21 penalties have been awarded. Guys, what say you guys, man?
It's been an unreal weekend. We've seen so many drama, so many excitement. It's been an unreal weekend, and we hope we continue to see more of the drama and excitement during the other game week as they come through. The penalties this season, I was saying to a friend of mine later this evening that the penalties this season is going to surpass the penalty record, which I think is 106 in a season. Yeah, I think we are already in game week 321. We are definitely surpassing that record this season.
It's been a wonderful weekend, actually. We've seen so much. Well, I'll say congratulations to Marcus Rashford for hitting the 10,000 goal for Manchester United. He started from 1. Now this is 10,000. It's not a joke. Good one for him. It's a good milestone for Manchester United, actually. Then we've had a wonderful weekend, actually, seeing controversies here and there. VAR awarding penalty after even the final whistle. It's something for us to actually sit into and discuss, dissect, and all these things. Then Leeds United, Patrick Bamfrord. I can remember Patrick Bamford used to be in the Chelsea Academy then before he was sold by Mourinho to Leeds United. But doing 3 goals in 3 matches, it's also a good one for him. So it's actually building his confidence, because if you watch their games, he has not actually played with so much confidence. But as the game has been rolling in, I saw the game today and the goal. It was of some good class. So yeah, wonderful weekend it has been.
Yes. So straight up to the results. Brighton Hove Albion lost to Manchester United 2-3. Crystal Palace lost at home to Everton 2-1. 2 in favor of Everton. And West Brom drew the game. 3-goal lead against Chelsea 3-3. Burnley lost to Southampton at home 1-0. And Sheffield United lost to Leeds United 1-0 at home. Tottenham Newcastle 1-1, late winner. VAR coming in there. We're still going to talk about that. And what a game today. Manchester City, they started all house on fire. We thought they were going to dismantle Leicester City, but Leicester City were able to handle the pressure and they won 5-2. We saw 3 penalties in there. And currently going on, West Ham against Wolves. West Ham is leading Wolves. And the penultimate for this weekend is tomorrow. It's a pity, but we'll have to do a review concerning that. Liverpool versus Arsenal. But we'll move straight. Where do we start from? Let's start from VAR. Controversy. 3 penalties today. No, a late penalty. Manchester United versus Brighton Hove Albion. Late penalty. Tottenham versus Newcastle. Guys, we talked about the new handball rule, and we saw that playing out in the 2 games in the EPL this week. What's your take on that, guys? Controversy. We had Mourinho having a say, saying things that he's not supposed to do. Mourinho with his drama, and also what happened yesterday. Final whistle blown. They had to go back to review, and the penalty was given. I think that's a record set because ever since I've been watching the EPL, I've not seen that happen. When the referee blows the final whistle and also goes back to give a penalty. So let's talk about this, guys.
Like I said last week, VAR is changing the game. We have seen it. We have seen it since the beginning of game week 1. VAR is changing the game. Everything is changing. The new rules, the new regulation coming in, everything is changing. And the handball against Brighton for Manchester United, it happened during game time. So blowing the whistle, then they had to go and check, gave the penalty. But we are seeing VAR is just bringing new realities into the game. It's not something we are used to, but I know it's something we'll get used to eventually, because this season there are a lot of new records to be broken. We are seeing different things this season, and it's exciting somehow.
Well, I agree. I partly agree with you on this controversy regarding the VAR and the likes. But I was going through the rules by IFAB, and you realize that the rules regarding penalties, especially to the hand, are going to be favorable to strikers more than defenders. I would believe that they would actually have to go and review those rules again and sit down on it and bring about a balance, because as it stands, if I'm a striker and I'm working by the rules that have been set by IFAB this season, all I need to do is just pick the ball with my feet and put it on the hands of a defender, and I get because that's what the rule is saying.
Yep.
But in football, it shouldn't be that way actually. Well, I wouldn't talk much about that, because we realize that the reality of football presently is in the hands of VAR, and it's doing more damage than good to football, because it has actually killed the enthusiasm of a fan watching football and jubilating, and at the end is called back to come and recall something else that is not supposed to be. Yeah, most times it can happen. Now, in the case of Manchester United, look at Manchester United. I saw the game and I had to analyze it again. I realized the final whistle was blown, and at the end of final whistle, it's expected that the game is ended. You don't call a penalty. Yeah. You don't call back a penalty, and after the final whistle, yes, the advantage now, where I will stand by for United, is the fact that there is no rule in that regard. But if they should actually set up a rule in that regard, because if you're going to be calling back a penalty, then every penalty that we are not blown, that we are not given in a match, should definitely be called back.
Yeah.
So the beauty of football is being taken away by the VAR. These things are not supposed to be happening. The joy in football is going. Let's be frank with each other. We saw all through last season. Yeah, VAR has a part it plays, but it shouldn't be given. Actually, it has taken more than 90% of the love for the game. So I don't know. I think they'll have to go back, sit back, and do a reanalysis of the whole thing, review the whole thing, and bring about a change. You don't give total power to VAR after the final whistle. For God's sake, it's called the final whistle. After the final whistle, why would they call back a penalty?
Yeah, true.
So if this happens, it has happened the first time, and this is just game week 3 in the EPL. If this has happened the first time, definitely we should be ready to recall it back again this season. As it stands, 21 penalties in the EPL already.
In 25 games.
Said we are going to break the we are going to break the 106 penalties in the season. If you are doing game week 3, 21 penalties. So game week 30, what's going to happen? 300 and something penalties. So please, they have to be a restructure, be a review of the whole thing. That's my opinion on the VAR.
Yeah, we know a lot of
And
football.
To add to what Chiamaka said, if you watch the Manchester United game during after the first penalty given to Brighton, you notice even the defenders going into attack and to tackle for the ball, to challenge for the ball. It's becoming,
They were being careful.
What if I touch him? What if he
Yeah, they're drawn back. They're drawn back, exactly.
Yeah. So it's taking away the excitement, really.
So a lot of football pundits have heard their opinion about, restructuring these rules, especially the handball rule. We talked about it last weekend about where the new rule by IFAB, where they say the short sleeve from the elbow to the short sleeve and from the short sleeve down to your arm, and when the ball touches any part of that area is a penalty kick, and that's a defender. But the flip side to it is, yes, we knew last season VAR controversy, but now the referees are using the side. The monitor by the pitch side, and we saw a decision yesterday. Even if when VAR called it back and VAR called back that decision, the referee still had to use the side monitor, the pitch side monitor. Is that like an improvement to last season, or is it that still, regardless of the referee using the pitch side monitor, this rule still has to change?
Compared to last season where the referee had to wait for them in the room to get back to him and all of that, I think there's a certain level of improvement, but still like Chimamaka said, the VAR, the old VAR, the rules and all of that, it is killing the excitement of the game and it is changing the face of the game.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with Samuel on that. Now, I'll quickly read something, a very short article by IFAB, and I will say why I'm saying this. An amendment to the handball rule they made was ensuring that an accidental handball will only be punished if it occurs immediately before a goal was scored. If play continues for some time after this, accidental handball will not be penalized. If the ball strikes a player who has made their body unnaturally bigger, then they will be punished. IFAB deems that an arm above shoulder height is rarely, if ever, a natural position, with the only exception coming when a player is falling to the ground. Now, this rule is actually stated clearly, but the bad thing about the EPL referees is that they are abusing these rules. They are not standing by the rules. I don't know if you understand. Now, there's a position whereby you make yourself bigger and the ball touches you on the arm. That is understandable. But in a stage whereby you're, like I explained in our last podcast, putting like most defenders now, you see them when opposing players are about to take shots, they put their both arms behind their back. Now you realize that the whole hand cannot go behind the back. Yeah. There are still some parts of the arm that actually the ball can hit. Now, that is not intentional. But as it stands in the EPL referees are giving it, which means they need to go and sit down and look at these rules again. And that is for the EPL referees. Because if you are given a rule and you are misinterpreting the rule, then it's bad. It's bad for football. We are no longer enjoying it. The excitement is dead. So this actually has to be addressed and addressed soonest before game week 38.
Yeah, true, man. I think I share Chimamaka's point and I also share Samuel's point. Even the football pundits are saying that it's killing the game. How do you want defenders to cope with this new rule? Because the dynamics of movement, your arms out helps you while you're moving, and because situations can change, ball game situation can change, where you don't know where the ball comes out from, and how do you expect the defender it's really needs to be reviewed, because really the game just keeps. We saw what happened today. Tottenham thought they won the game already. But just a split second, anything. Newcastle pumped the ball into the boxer team, and there was a ball that touched the hand of a Tottenham defender. VAR had to call, the referee had to review it, and the penalty was given. But seriously, I know we share the opinion that the rule needs to be reviewed. So moving on to the game, let's start with United. Lackluster performance again, but they had to scrap the 3 points back to Old Trafford.
It was an eyesore of a performance. We are just lucky to get any sort of points from that match. Brighton were absolutely unlucky. Three to four balls hitting the crossbar. It was
5 actually.
It was supposed to be a massacre. How we got out with 3 points. I was watching the match when they scored their second goal 2-2. I left and I just saw an update on my app 3-2. What happened? I don't know how to explain it. That getting that 3 point, but the performance generally it's not it for me. Pogba was nowhere to be found. The whole game was just it was not it. If Man U does not improve or get it together, it's going to be a terrible, terrible season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sam. Actually, on seeing that game yesterday, I realized that Paul Pogba had the worst statistics of his entire footballing career yesterday. When I checked the stats and I saw Paul Pogba, a guy of his caliber with this kind of statistics in a game like this, then I knew it. Man, I don't know what else to say. But as it stands, I think Manchester United, we are able to nick the 3 points. I don't know where the favor came from. Maybe VAR had to play its part. But if you look at the performance in general, you realize that they were nowhere close to half of a Brighton team. Yeah. The Brighton team had five balls on the crossbar. It shows determination of a team. I don't know if you understand. It shows determination of a team. It shows the zeal. It shows the fighting spirit. That United team of early social reign is not what we are seeing now. Yeah, most of us have our opinions about social. I'm not going to get into that for now. But as it stands, we need to see a United that can gun for things, not having scrappy wins. Because left for me is a scrappy win. They got the victory because there was a recall of the VAR after the final whistle. So in my opinion, I don't record that as a win, even if they're 3 points. But now, generally for the team, the United team, they need to sit back and go back to their drawing board. Yes, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what social tells the players. I don't know the kind of motivation it gives to them. I don't know the kind of inspiration it pours on them. But as it stands, it's not working. He needs to re-strategize. The United team, as they are, yes, I tip them for something good. But if they are going to go with their second game of the season this way, after a shambolic first game of the season, then I wouldn't be surprised if they are struggling for the 10th position this season as it stands, except something changes.
Well, it's the beginning of the season, because most of this game, ideally most of these guys, they have preseason, and this season they've not been able to have a full preseason. So I'm saying this happening in the first 4 games for each of the teams. Some team they've started well, Leicester City, Everton, they've started well, but the big guys are still struggling. And really it's the EPL, 3 point matters. But for me, looking at that game, I will blame Brighton Holve Albion. So they did against Chelsea when Chelsea visited the Amex Stadium. The same thing, they played well and they couldn't get the 3 points. Manchester United too came, same thing, hitting the woodwork 5 times. Manchester United also scored some goals that were disqualified by the referee due to offside or some infringement. But in EPL, 3 points really matters. You need to nick that 3 points. And I think the gaffer of Brighton Holve Albion, I can't remember his name, he has a lot of work to do, because you play well against the big teams, and when it gets to the time where you need to take the 3 points, you just don't get there. Even getting the job, when they scored that goal, I felt they relaxed. When they equalized at the dying minute, I felt Man United pressured more. Good work from Fernandes. Fernandes ensured that they pumped the ball into the box sitting and see if they can get something out of that game. And they got a corner kick. And hence, the penalty, the handball for Mope. So sweet. Sweetest thing ever for me yesterday. Coming from the side of an Arsenal fan. Sweetest thing ever. So moving on to Chelsea, West Brom. It took 3 academy players for Chelsea to equalize or bring Chelsea back into the game after £222 million was spent in the summer by the gaffer Lampard. What did you guys make of yesterday's game?
I said it last week. I said this Chelsea team, I don't know if it is Lampard. I don't know if they are yet to get themselves together, if Lampard is yet to find the right formula for the team, but no, I don't. They are not it right now for me. Maybe we had high expectations. Maybe that's the problem. Like Chelsea, okay, they have made some signings. We had pretty high expectations, but Lampard is not getting something right to the team. It's not blending well. We saw it against Brighton. They were lucky to get the points from Brighton.
Yeah, from
we
the
saw it
game from
against
Brighton,
Liverpool. Yeah, they pushed, but they were absent. I don't know. Maybe it's the blending. I don't know. Yeah, something is not clicking with the team right now. And if they don't sort it out soon, and Thiago, Captain Thiago was just another story yesterday. Okay, well, he's an EPL welcome for him, so he will not to be better in the next game. But Chelsea right now, they are not. Maybe because we had high expectations because of the summer spending and all of that, but they are not blending in right now. And seeing the young boys coming in to save the games, he has to beg the question. Okay, so why has Lampard spent all this
so
money,
much, yeah,
with all this potential? With all this potential still on ground.
Well, I totally agree with you. I'm not going to make excuses for Lampard. Actually, realize that the goals that came in yesterday were due to individual errors. Now, in those positions, yeah, we signed Thiago Silva. He was solid all through yesterday. The only bad problem he had was the mistake which he made after the pass from Kovacic yesterday. Yeah, that happens, but it shouldn't be happening to a high-class player. I think something like that happened with Stevie Gerrard when they were close to winning against Chelsea. Then Baba scored and denied them. Something like that, things like that. It's good it happened at the beginning of the season. But now, with putting things in place in the team, I'm not actually going to make excuses for Lampard. I faulted him yesterday after seeing the lineup. I realized that yes, he had a game strategy which he wanted to implement, but he didn't have the right players to implement it. Yesterday we played a left back of Marcos Alonso, who was actually the cause of 2 goals. I'm not bringing that. I'm not single-handedly picking him out as the problem. The team have their own problem in general. Yeah. But the thing about the team was they just had the ball on their feet, but we are not taking chances. They were not making attempts. They were not pushing forward. Yes, they had 1, 2, 3 chances. We understand that. But the West Brom team we saw yesterday had 3 attempts on target and took the whole 3 of them. That is in the first 45 minutes. They had 3 on target. Despite the fact Chelsea had 9 attempts on goals. They had just 3 and took the 3. So that's the difference between a team that is hungry and a team that wants to play football. I don't know if you understand. Now, with Chelsea, we realize that there are some loopholes that needs to be filled. As it stands, it's possible Chelsea might still make one more signing to handle the defensive midfield role for Chelsea.
After the 222 million pounds spent.
Because money, more problems.
Because no, it's not about more problem. I'm trying to understand what the gaffer wants. We are looking at his kind of players. Now, some people will tell you he's favoring Mason Mount, is this, is that. All through last game against Liverpool, Mason Mount was singled out and was bashed. But this game, we saw what he could do. So I won't blame the gaffer in a certain aspect. But I believe he will need time to put in world-class players together who have not played with each other. So yes, making these unnecessary errors this time of the game is not expected after spending 220.
So Chimamaka, I'm gonna stick on you on this. Just hold on. I'm still on you. I just wanted to point out what Sam had mentioned, that if the academy players could come out and bail Lampard out yesterday, so why venture in investing such huge amount of money into the team? Why don't you make use of the resources that you have currently, that you have on ground currently, and see how you can make the best out of them?
Yeah, I do understand you. I totally do understand you. Now, if you look at what happened yesterday, the academy players you are talking about, we have started the game already. It's not like they were benched or something. Only one of them came into the team and added flair to it. Now, if you look at what Lampard played yesterday, they lacked the width. They didn't have attackers on the width who are going to spread a compact defense of the West Brom team. Now, the only thing that he brought in, Mason Mount was in that game. Tammy Abraham started that game. The only academy player he brought in to come and make the change was Callum Hudson-Odoi, who was able to play with the width, spread out and open the spaces, create the spaces. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, we have players who are going to do this. We have the Christian Pulisic, 21 years or 22 years old. He's injured. He's not there. We have the Hakim Ziyech who has not played the game. We know that we have these guys on week. We won't have this kind of problem trying to open up defenses. But as it is, it's the players we have on the ground we have to use. No excuse. The boys who came in and did the 3 goals yesterday were magnificent. We liked the fact that they did it. But you cannot rule out the fact that guys who were brought in, who were bought, also added. At least a Kai Havertz who we spent about 71 million on had an assist. You will rule that out.
Well,
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
Players will do their job. The big boys will also come and do their job.
So that's how I think it's a gaffer's job, it's Lampard's job to see how we can find a balance to that team, because you're acquiring, you're adding into the team, and Chelsea is not selling. They've not let go of any players at the moment, and it's just a week to the deadline day of the transfer window. But we'll see. But it's, like you said, 2 points drop for Chelsea, not 1 point gain. It's 2 points drop for Chelsea. So we move to Mourinho. We saw what happened today, controversy. He doesn't seem to get away from controversy. He had to say Tottenham had their fair share of the new rule, of the Hanball Rule. And we saw Newcastle nicking in a late equalizer. Just just few seconds in this. What's the way forward with Mourinho and Tottenham?
Well, the Mourinho and controversy, it always comes to find him anyways.
Yes.
But this Tottenham team, we saw them last week. They had a go feast last week, and we are seeing them this week. I had expectations for this team, like, okay, maybe there's going to be a bit of here and there, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. And they did hold on to the game. They held on to the lead, but they were just quite unfortunate. It's the old VAR thing killing the game and all of that happening all over again.
Yeah, with Mourinho is something that's expected. I like the man. I like Mourinho. He's someone who doesn't keep it in. He says it as it is. So I wouldn't fault him for that. Yeah, the truth of the matter is we should all come to accept the VAR. The VAR is changing so many things. Many things are being affected. The enthusiasm in the game, the fun in the game, it's killing it. I'll be very frank with you, because if I come back to analyze every of the games I saw this game with 3, I'll be totally pissed as a football analyst, because everything was being controlled by the VAR, and it's unhealthy actually. Now we are having a Liverpool Arsenal match that is coming up front. Those are kind of games that you expect VAR to come and destroy. Because with Mourinho complaining, I wouldn't blame the man. I won't blame him. Things like this, they are not, for God's sake, we know what this week was like. It's not fun. To be fair, it's not fun. It's not helping us.
To be realistic, Tottenham had the chance. Tottenham should have sealed that game, because looking at the stats of the game, they had the game. They had Newcastle. They had Newcastle in their hands. So 3 points should have been gotten from that game based on their performance against Southampton in last week's games. I think they should have just nicked the 3 points. I think they were just being careless, or they didn't make use of the chances that they created.
Yeah, that's true. You're actually right. Well, the Mourinho complaining. Actually, if he had taken his chances, he wouldn't have the cause to complain. So because Tottenham had the chances and they fumbled, now this came and has become something of the press to go and sit on and escalate. Yeah. But as it stands, football has to be football. VAR is VAR. We should come to accept it, except things are being changed. But for football, play your football as a team. Do what has to be done, so that VAR doesn't give you excuses. That's what I will tell you. So that's my take on the whole thing.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the last rounds of matches for week 3, which is supposed to be Fulham Aston Villa plays tomorrow, and Liverpool Arsenal, which is the penultimate game for this week 3. So quickly, we're just going to review, with all due respect to Fulham and Aston Villa, whatever happens in that game, sticks with that game. So we stick, just last few minutes, we stick with Liverpool Arsenal. Now, the news came out today, updates, Alisson and Alcantara seems to be doubts for tomorrow's game. Is this a plus for Arsenal, or is it the normal Liverpool will still have to find a way out and see how they can take Arsenal out?
I think if Alisson doesn't play well, it's going to be somewhat of a plus for us now because Alisson is one of the strong strong force holding the Liverpool back. So yeah, it's going to be a plus. But for Thiago, is still new to the game. We have only seen him 45 minutes, so I know Liverpool can still make do. But Alisson, yeah, they might feel the absence of Alisson a bit.
Yeah, I totally agree with Samuel on that. But if you look at the Liverpool Arsenal game, if you've seen them over the years, you realize that with or without Arsenal, with or without Alisson, Arsenal is a force to reckon when it comes to playing Liverpool. So
Do
either
you mean the
Alisson
last
being
3
there or
games?
Alisson not
Or do you
being
mean the
there.
last 2
Yeah.
games?
I'm just saying, as in generally, if you look at
Going to
Arsenal
Anfield has
and
been a
Liverpool,
whitewash. Liverpool have always been
so
whitewashing Arsenal. Going to Anfield.
but yeah, going to Anfield. But as if you've seen the project at which Arteta is coming up with, he's not the manager who has done that actually against Jurgen Klopp. But I would stake on Arteta trying to pull an upset tomorrow for that game, because Arteta is somebody who understands the game, who understands his players, who has the right motivation he instills into his players, and that would actually work. With or without Alcantara, you can have Alcantara and still be walloped by Arsenal. But I'll keep my fingers crossed. I wouldn't want to say anything. Alisson not being there is actually a plus for Arsenal as it stands. It's a plus for Arsenal. Arsenal have every of their players very fit. So a fit Arsenal can defeat a fit Liverpool. Football is football. There's so many upsets. So let's expect that tomorrow.
And there's VAR too, so you can never be sure.
Yeah.
With VAR, you can never be
I
sure.
I mention that. There's VAR, exactly.
Because the game can go anywhere. Now, we don't know where the game can go. But let's just look at the standings. After 3 games, Leicester City top with 9 points and a goal difference of 8, followed by Everton, second position, then followed by Arsenal in third position with a game in hand. And the fourth position is Liverpool with also a game in hand. Looking at the down table, the last 3, looking at the bottom of the table rather, the last 3, Burnley, Fulham, and Sheffield United. It's so strange about Sheffield United. They've lost their first 3 games. That is something else with the way they perform.
The Anderson factor is starting to show already, I think.
Yeah, I can see that from a Man U perspective.
I saw the game today. I saw the game today, and Chris Wilder still has what he does, but his problem is they are not taking their chances. They still play decent football. They play very, very decent football, but they are not taking their chances. I think that's their own downturn. I believe they should be able to leave that zone anytime soon. The moment they start hitting the goals.
Well, I've seen it over and over this weekend. If you don't take your chances, you get punished. We saw it with Brighton. You get punished.
So the game going on at the moment, West Ham versus Wolves. West Ham is leading Wolves 3-0. 87 minutes at the moment. Whoever saw that comment, I think our prediction this week is just haphazard.
It's just
way off.
Really way off, man.
Wow.
Way off.
3-0
to Wolves. I think
that's the same Wolves that was holding Man City last.
I think that's a big. That's a good. It's a bad welcome for Semedo, because this is his debut game. Wolves.
As we all say, it's the Portuguese football club of Wolverhampton. So let's
the Portuguese dynasty.
Okay, before we round up, I just feel, for me, I've studied the results since the resumption after the pandemic, after the post-coronavirus era, post-coronavirus period, when the EPL resumed. Things like Leicester City, things like Sheffield United, they plummeted. Wolves as well, they plummeted. Their game went down. I think it's a fan factor. What do you guys think? They don't have their fans there. Their fan always plays that 12th man role very well. Sheffield United, Wolves, and Leicester City. What do you guys think as a roundup?
Yeah, the fan factor is always something that is going to affect the game generally. The extra ginger, the extra noise, the extra energy. Of course, it's something we have missed. Something it's not what we are used to. We are trying to get used to the new system, but we don't want to get used to it. So hopefully, coronavirus virus leaves us and we get back to what we are used to?
Well, the fun factor is like 99% of the whole football, in my opinion, because there's no joy in the stadium. Sincerely, all you hear are echoes. You keep hearing echoes here, echoes there. When you have fans to tell you, why did you put the ball off the post? Things like that. You have people to either discourage or encourage you. You have the opposition fans who are there to break your head when you score them, and you have those who are
throwing stones at you.
Football, exactly. So football is the fans. It's about the fans. We miss them actually. We've missed them so much, and I'm actually tired of hearing the echoes in the stadium. I want to hear voices. We want to hear voices. We hope COVID leaves us and leaves us for good, so that we'll have people back in the stadium.
Definitely. So at this juncture, we say our final words in today's episode.
Yeah, it's been an amazing EPL week. Game week 3 has been exciting, drama filled. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys next week.
All right, guys, it's been an awesome day talking football again. Game week 3 review, and it's been an awesome footballing weekend. Controversies here and there, but as we do our thing, we'll come up every week to come and entertain you, to come and inform you about football that's been played. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being on the show today, being on the EPL review for Game Week 3. We hope Game Week 4 provides more talking points so we can be here to analyze the game week for the EPL. But we're FootyWit Podcast. We're on social media. Please, we ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please don't forget to click the notification button to get notification of videos when we upload. We're also on Twitter, and also on Instagram, and also on Anchor. You can listen to the audio version of this podcast on Anchor, Google Podcast, and also Spotify. From me, saying my final goodbye on today's episode. Have a blessed